You're watching the Shady Mob Podcast with your two favorite pod mob stars.
Alright guys, please click on the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Microphone check. Shady Mob in the zone, King N.P.V. Alex sitting on the throne, dropping gems on the mic, entertainment dissected, movies, TV, culture, fully connected. From the silver screen to the block, we decode the plots. Every twist, every turn, we connect the dots. Pot airs with the bounce, flow rugged and raw. Tune in, turn it up, let the knowledge withdraw. Shady Mob, Shady Mob, yo, we got the juice, breaking it down. Truth spilling out the booth, from the big screen flicks to the sitcom roots. Shady Mob Podcast, we the illest recruits. Popcorn kernels popping, Hollywood exposed. From the indie hits to the billion-dollar shows. Angela with the deep cuts, King bring the vibe. We dissect the script, watch the secrets collide. Flick sharper than the blade, TV sharper than the wit. Spin the reel, press play. We never quit, Shady Mob in your ear. We keep the pace from the shadows. We rise, entertainment we embrace. Shady Mob, yo, we got the juice, breaking it down. Truth spilling out the booth, from the big screen flicks to the sitcom roots. Shady Mob Podcast, we the illest recruits.
Hello and welcome everybody to the latest episode of the Shady Mob Podcast with your two favorite pod mob stars, Alex the Man Angela and your boy himself, King N.P.V. Here to talk about the Michael movie that is honestly one of the hottest topics in the world right now. Michael Mania is running wild, is running strong. Plus giving you our the company's top 5 musical biopics released in the last 20 years, or at least the ones that Alex and I have seen, and we ranked them here for y'all's here today. How you doing today, Double A?
We're on. We're live. Guys, thanks for joining us on this fine evening.
Hold on, partner. Hold on. We're going to actually run a really quick little brief ad break while I figure out what's going on with Double A's audio, because it's not working. We will be right back after these quick messages. Welcome to Shady Mob Productions, where the vibes are always right and the passion runs deep.
Step into the sports network of N1 from the End Zone. Sit down for unfiltered conversations on Port City Uncensored.
Watch what you listen to. Listen to me, it's Soniq Wavez.
Port City Uncensored. Port City Uncensored. Port City Uncensored!
Listen up, dog owners. Every month, BarkBox delivers 2 brand new toys that will make your dog lose their mind, plus 2 full-size bags of treats so healthy you'll be tempted to steal one yourself. Trusted by over 8 million dogs who have literally never written a bad review. We're talking fully customized, tiny terror toys for Chihuahuas, indestructible beasts for your Rottie, allergy-friendly snacks for the drama queens with sensitive tummies. Even extra subscriber-only goodies if you want to go full spoiled. Right now, new subscribers get a free extra toy in every box for a whole year, and shipping is forever free. So stop letting your dog down and click the link in the description or scan that beautiful QR code and get your first BarkBox today. BarkBox, because your dog deserves better.
All right, let's try this one more time. How you doing, Double A?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing real good.
Yeah, your audio's coming in clear. I could tell that the bar. See, this is why I'm glad I'm producing. This is why I'm glad I'm monitoring everything, right? We got the buttons. We got a little stream deck now, ladies and gentlemen, to make this shit a lot easier. All right, so let's try this one. Oh, yeah, I could hear it. Could you hear it? Could you hear yourself? Oh, that's beautiful. That's perfect. Yeah. No more technical difficulties, goddammit. Even the stream will not be interrupted. We have been through this too many times in the last 2 fucking years.
No,
No longer.
we are good. We should be good. We should be all set now. A lot of trials. We ran into a lot of trials, but difficulties were there.
No, difficulties were
difficulties.
there, and honestly, I'm very satisfied with the recovery time
We
because the
we
audio
are
went down. I immediately detected it. We went into a commercial break, goddammit, and we fixed it. We fixed it. We got it resolved. I can hear you. You look beautiful. You look like
nice.
content, baby. This man. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I got horrible, horrible news for you, ladies. He is no longer single, ladies and gentlemen. If you wanted a piece of double A, a lady by the name of Giselle out in Palm Beach, Florida, wherever the fuck Alex is, has taken this man off the market.
Sure.
Ladies, you had an opportunity for the last 2 years to be going after my boy Double A, and you know what you did? Absolutely nothing. Now he's off the market, and you girls don't know what you're missing out on. Good for you, Double A.
Nope.
I'm proud of you.
They don't know what they're missing out, man. I had my lemonade stand out there. People kept on saying no. I was selling myself, and someone finally was like, "Let me try some of that." And now they're my only vendor.
Hey,
they're my
there you
only.
go.
They're my only subscriber.
No, honestly, and good. I'm happy for you, bro. You know why? Because I know love is something that you were hoping you didn't know if you were gonna find it again after the first
Yeah,
relationship.
yeah.
And dog,
She's great. She's really caring, and I'm very happy. I don't know. It's really
the roller
nice.
coaster I've seen you go, bro. I'm just happy you found somebody that hopefully values you as much as I value you.
Yeah. That roller coaster, like, it wouldn't let me off. It just wouldn't, like, I wanted to be on it. and yeah, man. But it's for real. Yeah, she's been really great. I'm having a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun, and yeah, we both care for each other, and it's going good. Honestly, I'm really happy, and I'm just glad that I have someone in my life, and I can also help and support her in ways. So it's mutual. It's a two-way street. But yeah, it's really interesting how, like, through the years of doing this, it's like y'all, the fans, have seen the plateau and the progression of certain elements in my life, relationship wise. But however, not to dull the mood, but let's get back to the main topics here. Michael.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
man, I actually watched it
Michael
this
the
past
movie.
Thursday, and
I'm
what are your thoughts? You're the fan. You're the super fan here. What are your thoughts?
So because I am the fan, um, give me a second here.
I saw it with my girlfriend. We went to this one theater, and it was actually really nice. However, it kind of glitched out a little bit. Oh, Jafar Jackson, there he is.
All right, I had to set the tone for what we're talking about right now, ladies and gentlemen. This man right here, Michael, my boy, my guy, my goat. Well, not really this guy. This is Jafar Jackson. Fun fact about Jafar Jackson: he sounds very similar to his uncle in his own music that he's created. He literally note for note sounds like Michael.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, he has his own music. He's an artist,
yeah.
actually.
And in some of these scenes captured in Michael where he's singing, for example, I'm pretty sure it was was it PYT? No, Can't Stop Till You Get Enough. He actually was singing that part in the film. Now, personally, I don't think that's a good example because I don't feel like he hit the notes like Michael hit him in real life. But he definitely portrayed Michael in a way where you felt like the spirit of Michael Jackson came back and performed through Jafar Jackson. I
Yeah,
thought that the movie, in terms of choreography, in terms of costumes, because they used the actual Billie Jean bedazzled jacket. They used the real Beat It jacket. They used the real Thriller jacket. It's funny because Lady Gaga was the one that bought all of Michael's memorabilia, stored it away, and loaned it out for the production of this movie, just as long as she could come and watch them film and watch her costumes come to life. And
What
honestly,
what an amazing like person to do that. I'm not gonna like to preserve that history and then just to be like, yeah, here, just let me watch, you know?
bro,
And
those artifacts have to have been haunted by Michael, because
yeah,
he put them on, and Jafar's movement and choreography is so similar to that of the real Michael Jackson that he absolutely killed it in the role as Michael. Now, when it comes to historical accuracy and also the story that was being told, that's where I ultimately feel like the film let down a lot of the actual real Michael Jackson fans. But if you're going for a feel good story where like the hero of the movie overcomes the adversity and gets to somewhat of a happy ending, this would be it, in the way that they portray Michael Jackson in the first part of his life, where he basically overcomes the controlling Joe Jackson, who was portrayed by what was his name, Roberto Domingo. Was it Roberto Domingo? No, Coleman Domingo, excuse me. Who was portrayed by Coleman Domingo. And by the way, Coleman Domingo looks eerily similar to Joe Jackson. If there was an actor that like looked like almost identical to the person they were portraying, it was Coleman Domingo, and how they like heavily made him look like Joe Jackson. I felt like I was looking at the real Joe Jackson while I looked at Coleman. Jafar, with all due respect to Jafar, there was never a moment where I genuinely believed he was Michael Jackson. I always saw him as an actor playing Michael Jackson. Obviously, he is an actor playing Michael Jackson, who happens to be his nephew. However,
not a single moment, not a single like where he's like, oh shit, like that. That's him.
yeah, no. So actually, at the end of the movie, when he's about to go and do his bad tour, when
That
they tear into the
bro,
side of his face, that's
that
the only time I felt like that was Michael Jackson. Cause you don't see his eyes. It looked like Michael Jackson. That was a shot that like genuinely felt like Michael Jackson. And the craziest thing is, when they shot that bad concert, that bad scene, and they only did it in one take, because he nailed the entire performance from beginning to end, and they didn't think that he was going to be able to top that performance. So, again, like I said, if we're going for the way that Jafar Jackson portrayed Michael, did a great job, but you could tell it's an actor portraying Michael. Coleman Domingo literally looked and felt like Joe Jackson, in my honest opinion. That's my thoughts. Alex, you recently went to go watch this movie with your lovely girlfriend. What were your thoughts?
um I would say that this movie was, how can I put it? It wasn't done justice. The story was just ripped apart by litigation and legal issues pertaining to a lot of actresses and actors that just didn't want to be in the movie, and that really is just driving a huge anchor through the entire movie. I mean, a lot of it. Diana Ross was literally a big part of Michael Jackson. Janet Jackson, she literally supported him all the way, and
So
and
also
that was
Riri
kind of
Jackson, I don't think was in the movie either.
he had so many siblings and family members that were just not there because either legal things or they just didn't want to be in it, right? And a big part of that, I think, was taken up by his mom. His mom also was a really big, and the security guard. His security guard, what was his name? Um, Bill something. What was his name?
Bill Burr. Bill Burr.
No, it was
You're talking
Bill
about
Bray.
Bill Bray.
Bill Bray. Bill Bray. He also was a big supporting factor. But overall, I would say this movie has a clear message that it wants to do, and it's trying to portray Jackson as he was. He was a very kind-hearted, soft-spoken man who cared so deeply about perfecting music, and it shows his upbringing, his tragic upbringing with the Jackson Five, where he was just a kid who his childhood got
I'll
robbed,
be hon- I'll be
and,
honest. I don't think his upbringing was tragic.
I think it was. I think that the fact that he was constantly like under his dad's view, and the fact that yeah he kind of built him. It was just sad. It was just sad to see because that happened all the time, and for someone to treat the great Michael Jackson like that, and for him to feel like that all the time, that is tragic. Just because if he wasn't feeling like that, especially from his father, we would have seen a lot more from him musically and as an artist overall, like writing and supporting other projects. But anyways, yeah, as a movie though, it has a really good, really clear cut story. As it, protagonist Michael Jackson, the adversity of overcoming his fear of confronting his dad, and also branching off as doing his own thing. As Nelson said, like perfectly, this is a feel good story. If you want to feel good and just watch a really nice, honestly, tear jerking. There were some moments where I honestly teared up. I was like, dude, this is insane. This is really, this is like heart throbbing and tear jerking. There's a lot of moments where I smiled. There's a lot of moments where I teared up, and there's a lot of moments where I was like, I don't know. I feel like it played out differently. I feel like there are people who were missing who helped them along the way and to overcome a lot of this, and also it wasn't just his security guard or his mom. Knowing that. But if you know nothing about Jackson, if you know nothing about Michael Jackson, this is a good movie. This is a good movie. It was a little rushed, I would say, maybe a little longer. Sure, I've been saying that with a lot of movies, but
I
felt a little
also
rushed.
I don't feel like the movie was rushed because they left out a lot of footage. They shot a lot of stuff, and they took out a bunch of stuff in order to leave it in for the Michael 2, which is officially now in production because of the success of Michael 1. Um, Realistically, because I did go watch this movie twice. And based off, because I not only watched Michael, I also watched Jackson and American Dream, which I recommend people go watch it. Honestly, I feel like the actors in this movie were uh, better casted in a way because they look a lot more similar to like the actual
The
singers.
the looks, I disagree with you. I think Jackson, I think Jafar, they made him look like him in so many scenes. There were some scenes where I'm just like, this is not
He
like
does
him.
not look like Michael Jackson.
There-
I'm sorry.
Listen, listen. There are some scenes like that, like the Beatles
In the
scene,
Wiz,
where
in the Thriller, when he put on his Thriller costume, I will give it to you. I got confused on if that was the real Michael Jackson or the
yeah,
fake
if they
Michael
like
Jackson.
played scenes or something, right? If they like played like the scene of the fucking show of the music video. But there was when he had his glasses on, like walking around, I was like, that's him. Like that. I mean, I get it. Like nose and like eyebrow and hair and everything. Yeah, you're not seeing his eyes, but literally when he had his fucking glasses on, I was like, dude, he looks like him, and he just looked like the coolest person
With the glasses
in the
on,
entire movie.
even with the glasses on, it's close, but I don't know. I think it's just because I've seen too many documentaries and too many like videos and too many like just Michael Jackson overall that for me Jafar, even though he is his like nephew, he's an actor playing Michael Jackson. Not like Coleman Domingo, who I thought embodied Joe Jackson to a fucking T. Now, the reason why, like, I think I disagree with you on, like, his upbringing being tragic is because I genuinely always felt like Michael is one of, I think, five or six boys. I think he's like one of 6 boys, right? So when you have a lot of brothers in your family and like it's just you got 2 parents, right? Your parents can't always like be monitoring you and seeing what you're doing. Kids want to be kids. Kids want to be mischievous. And Joe Jackson, being who Joe Jackson is, having the upbringing that he had, um, was Joe Jackson in the military? I forgot if he was in the Navy or in the military. Um, but Joe Jackson being brought up the way that he was brought up in like a very hard nosed fucking era where like segregation, prejudice, um, probably like his mom, Joe Jackson's mom might have still been around when slavery was a thing. You got to think about that.
Probably.
So with all those life lessons coming like to be, I'm not surprised Joe raised Michael to be how he was. Now, if Joe Jackson also doesn't raise Michael Jackson the way that he does, Michael Jackson does not become the perfectionist that he would be known to be when it came to his music. Now, realistically, because I like Michael Jackson with Quincy Jones and then Michael Jackson post Quincy Jones, 2 completely different Michael Jacksons, okay? Michael Jackson's Off the Wall, PYT, Off the Wall, Thriller. What was the other album that he did?
Bad.
Bad. Those 3 albums with Quincy Jones won the Grammys, won the respective awards because of how two people that were just so good at the time coming together were able to produce magic, right? Now Michael Jackson, when he did Invincible and the Dangerous album, he tried a little bit more hip hop. There's only like 2 songs on the Dangerous album that I think is good, and like one or 2 songs off the Invincible album that he did in like the early 2000s that I thought was like very decent, very good. So realistically, Michael had the most amount of success in the phase of like in the era that the film honestly portrays because it's like trust me, like all the songs off those albums for the majority are songs that people fucking know, people will sing, people will fucking represent, like people will jam to.
Oh, I mean, you're 100% correct. Like that, those. I mean, we talked about it. Those songs are timeless, and
Oh,
they
and Michael,
they transcend all other
the
forms of
sound
media,
they
like
the
forms of
sound they
music. Yeah,
created is timeless. Like that
yeah.
sound that they created, Quincy and Michael created, fucking timeless. But this all goes back to Joe Jackson raising Michael to be how Michael was. Because if Joe isn't putting as much pressure on Michael to do and be like as good as he can possibly be, bro, Michael doesn't dance the way that he dances. Michael doesn't fucking go on to be as demanding as he is when he goes and performs. When he does this, like when he does the persona of Michael Jackson, because you got to also remember, like in real life, Michael Jackson's voice was a little bit deeper, and he put on a persona to interact with people. He had vitiligo and probably getting burnt on his head. Also, if that so there's a couple of crazy conspiracy theories here. Okay, so there's one crazy one that I've told you, where it's the Tito Jackson is the most important Jackson out of all the Jacksons.
Ah, okay. Explain why. Explain why Tito
Okay,
Jackson is the most important Jackson for the NFL.
for everything. Okay, Tito Jackson does not learn how to play the guitar and breaks his daddy's guitar string. Joe Jackson never gets Tito Jackson to play in front of him, which never leads to the formation of the Jackson 5. Okay? Now, if little Michael doesn't go up on that talent show and sing his ass off, Joe wouldn't have put Michael Jackson in the Jackson 4, because I'm pretty sure they only wanted to do the Jackson 4, and then Michael signed up for an audition to do a talent show, and he sang his little butt off, and that's when Joe realized, okay, he should be my lead singer. Okay, now if those things don't happen, there ain't no Tom Brady, because the all those events, like when the Jackson 5 ultimately got formed and everything, and they had the success that they had, and then Michael did like the Off the Wall album, and then came back and they announced the Victory Tour. And the Victory Tour is the most important thing out of this whole thing, okay? If they don't do the Victory Tour, the owner of the New England Patriots isn't forced to sell. Now, the movie that doesn't do a good job depicting this. In the movie, it just shows you Joe Jackson and Don King going into business together to announce the Victory Tour and do the press conference and everything. Now, the way that Don King and Joe Jackson were running things, they weren't necessarily securing the venues, weren't knocking down any tour dates, because they were basically demanding guarantees from the arenas and from the venues for the Jacksons to come and perform there. And because it was Michael Jackson, he was at the peak of his powers, they thought they could get away with it. Sadly, that wasn't the case. What ended up happening was, when they tried to strong arm the venues for the Jacksons to come and perform, the venues stopped trying to do business with them and did not want to book them and did not want them to come. So what ended up happening was Michael had to get involved. And when Michael got involved, he brought in the owner of the New England Patriots at the time. I fucking forget his name. I think it was Billy Sullivan Jr. That was the owner of the New England Patriots at the time. He was the first owner of the New England Patriots. He's the guy that founded the New England Patriots, okay? Billy Sullivan Jr. financed the Victory Tour because Michael wanted this whole big-ass elaborate stage that would take a quarter of the stadium that they were performing in. So, yeah, Billy Sullivan Jr., he was the one that was the New England Patriots owner. He's the one that ultimately financed the Victory Tour for Michael Jackson and the Jacksons. He's the one that took over for Don King and Joe Jackson, booking all the tour dates, basically running. He's the one that leveraged the team to be able to finance a tour. And because he thought that Michael Jackson at the peak of his powers was going to be able to cash in, he made a bad investment. And Michael, because he wanted this elaborate stage, this elaborate presentation, it cost too much money. And it also took out a quarter of the seats that they needed to sell. So if you had a 60,000 seated stadium, you were only able to use 45,000 seats because 15,000 of those seats were rendered obsolete because of the stage. And because of because of the way things were structured, and then he also tried to do this thing where you had, in order to get tickets, you had to mail in and basically buy 4 tickets. At the time, tickets were only about $30, but $30 in the 1980s is a lot more money than $30 for us now. They would have to send basically $120, reserve 4 tickets, and not even be guaranteed to get the tickets. You would enter a raffle, and if you were lucky, you might be selected to get those tickets. That was the type of shit that they were on. Yeah. So, regardless of whatever they want to say, the Victory Tour was not as successful as it's always been made out to be. The Victory Tour was essentially a money pit where the owner of the New England Patriots was basically forced to sell the team to a guy that, to another guy that, I forget his last name was Kayam, who only owned the team, Victor Kayam. He sold the team to Victor Kayam. He sold it to him for 4 years, and Victor Kayam then had to go bankrupt and foreclose before he sold it to Robert Kraft, who then hired Bill Belichick, who then drafted Tom Brady in the 7th round, who ultimately went on to win 7 Super Bowls. And if Billy Sullivan does not finance the Victory Tour, he would have probably more than likely still been the owner of the New England Patriots. And he was the first owner of the New England Patriots, mind you. And this all doesn't happen if Tito Jackson does not break his father's guitar string. And the Jackson 5 never get formed. So that's why Tito Jackson, ladies and gentlemen, is the most important Jackson out of all the Jacksons. Because Tito Jackson is what ultimately caused Tom Brady. Because there's no fucking way, Alex, you can tell me that Tito Jackson or that Tom Brady would have been drafted or played in the NFL if he was a 7th round pick and ultimately developed into being a NFL starter. There's just like
No,
at that
because
time, the odds are.
listen, like the amount of like coincidences and the amount of events to take place for Belichick to be the coach and then sign on Brady. Even if Billy Sullivan was still the owner, he probably would not have picked Belichick. I don't know. It could have gone so many different ways, and he probably wouldn't even have sold it to Victor Kiam. Maybe he would have sold it later on to someone else. And they probably would have been a better franchise. With the money that he could have saved up with not making the deal about Victory Tour. Could have gone a lot of ways, but the fact that that string of timeline connects Tito Jackson for a lot of NFL fans, especially New England Patriots, is the best and the most historical Jackson to ever live because he's the most important guy for their team.
Yeah. So, guys, especially you Patriots fans, be thankful for the existence of Tito Jackson. May he rest in peace with Michael up there. With that being said, Alex, what I was gonna say,
I would say for the rating, bruh, for the rating, dude. It's tough. It's a tough one. I really liked it, but as a film, again, okay story. It's pretty, like we've seen it all. We've seen it. Kid upbringing, abusive father, amazing, successful, the most successful career you can ever imagine, and then just creating godlike music. But the way he was portrayed with his nephew and everything, the fact that they left out a lot.
For me, it's a solid 3.5 stars.
Dude, I'm giving it a 7. I'm giving it a 7.
Basically,
slightly above.
Thing.
It's above average. It's an above average one. I enjoyed it for what it was, but the fact that they left, like, there's so much left out of it, really hurt the movie. But hey, we'll see. We'll see with the next one. I hope that they do a good job with it, and I just hope that that they get to touch things that probably weren't touched here, and and just later in his life. But overall, I enjoyed it. I think this is going to be a great biopic. You guys should go check it out. Again, a couple flaws. Rushed, as I said. It wasn't rushed, but they could have been longer.
Prince in the movie. That's also another thing that really irritated me. That
Could have been longer.
That relationship with Prince should have been talked about. I feel like it was a very important thing.
Again, a lot of people were just missing. A lot of people were missing about it. There were some scenes where, a lot of it was montages. It felt like a lot of the movie was montage of him being successful and making the music. And they should have focused on Off the Wall a little bit more too, because that was also a really big album, but they kind of didn't focus on that music. Thriller was the best selling album, but Off the Wall was also that much more important as well.
No,
just saying.
You're not wrong. I don't know. For me, it's 3.5 stars. What it saves this movie for me is the costume designs, because a lot of the costumes that were used were actual things that Michael Jackson wore in real life. The choreography, because Jafar Jackson does an amazing job with the movement of being Michael Jackson, and the portrayal of Coleman Domingo as Joe Jackson really killed the role. Really looked like Joe. And yeah, that's why for me the film was ultimately saved. I thought the story could have been a lot better. I know they excluded a lot of things, but for what we got and how they portrayed it and how they executed it, solid 3.5 stars for me. I would recommend it.
Not bad scores. These are not bad scores at all. I want ladies and gentlemen to know that. But Yeah, man, overall. But yeah, on to the next segment, man. How are we gonna rank all these biopics?
So with that, before we go into that, we will actually take a brief break and be right back after these messages. Welcome to Shady Mob Productions, where the vibes are always right and the passion runs deep.
Step into the sports network of N1 from the End Zone. Sit down for unfiltered conversations on Port City Uncensored. And surf the sound waves with Soniq Wavez.
Different worlds, different shows. Click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's kick it. Guys, if you're into sports, wrestling, or just need some positivity and motivation, check out N1 from the End Zone and click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. If you're in the San Francisco Bay Area and want the best cut of your life, go check out Headspin's Barbershop, located in South San Francisco, the official barbershop of N1 from the End Zone.
Port City Uncensored. Real talk, real people, minus the trolls. Join us Thursdays at 8 on YouTube, X, and Facebook. From the streets to City Hall, you never know who'll show up or what they'll say next.
Listen up, dog owners. Every month, BarkBox delivers 2 brand new toys that will make your dog lose their mind, plus 2 full-size bags of treats so healthy you'll be tempted to steal one yourself. Trusted by over 8 million dogs who have literally never written a bad review. We're talking fully customized, tiny terror toys for Chihuahuas, indestructible beasts for your Rottie, allergy-friendly snacks for the drama queens with sensitive tummies. Even extra subscriber-only goodies if you want to go full spoiled. Right now, new subscribers get a free extra toy in every box for a whole year, and shipping is forever free. So stop letting your dog down and click the link in the description or scan that beautiful QR code and get your first BarkBox today. BarkBox, because your dog deserves better.
Guys, you're watching the Shady Mob Podcast. This is where we discuss our favorite movies, TV shows, and where we talk about life. Please like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Double A, you still alive with me? I know it's 3 a.m. out there in Florida. How you doing?
Still alive, man. I'm chugging along.
First he was afraid. He was petrified. He did it and nobody by his side. All right.
And then I say that's and I did it wrong. I was wrong.
I will survive. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to rank at least our top 5 biopics of some of the shows, some of the movies that we've watched personally. More specifically, musical biopics. Now, this includes series adaptations and movies, because our number 1 is the Netflix series Selena. Why did we choose this as number 1, Alex?
I think that it's the most fleshed out of all the biopics out there. I think she was one of the most successful Latin singers, also English singer. I mean, let's just not get she sang in English, but she was the most successful singer of her time in the Latin space. Okay, in the Latin space. And they did a great job. They did a great job explaining everything, the siblings, the turmoil between her dad and the boyfriend, and her trying to go into more English songs and kind of feeling stuck, but wanting to spread her wings, and she couldn't spread her wings because you know why? She died. Someone killed her.
Jesus
She
Christ.
literally
Jesus
got
Christ.
murdered.
Yolanda
So,
Salvidar, I think that's her name, Salvidar.
Yeah, the
she-
president of her fan club literally killed her, and so that is why we don't have Selena anymore. Such a beautiful, amazing woman with so much talent. It's insane. And yeah, fun fact, actually, my girlfriend's dad was supposed to open up for Selena.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and then she died like the weekend after she died. Like literally
wow.
Yeah, dude.
He was supposed to open over Selena.
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah. He opened up for I don't know. You probably heard of him. I don't know. Vincente Fernandez. You've ever?
Yeah. Actually, that's another biopic that's right now in the works.
For Vincent Fernandez, nice.
Yeah. Well, not in the works, but they dropped a Vincente Fernandez biopic.
Good. Yeah, he's El Rey, you know.
El Rey.
Yeah, man. But yeah, no, Selena was that's why it's up there. I mean, I don't know. It's just so fleshed out and really well written, casted really really well, and yeah, I don't know. It was just a great show.
Well, the reason why, like, I also, in my opinion, why we both agreed that this one was going to be number one for both of us, was just because, like, the story, like you said, it was like the series itself does an excellent job. It's a 2-part series. Both parts are about 9 episodes, so that's essentially like 2 seasons worth of content, right? And they just go over like her youth, how she's a child, to how she fell in love, to Bidi Bidi Bam Bam, to Como Una Flor. Like, it just, the chronological way, like, sequences and how, like, it goes into, like, AB and Suzette, and her father, and, like, just everybody's dynamic and how they all basically came together to help Selena fucking become who Selena ultimately was. That series as a whole does an excellent job doing everything. So that's why Selena is Shady Mob, the Shady Mob Podcast #1 biopic, in my opinion, or not in my opinion, in our opinion.
Yeah,
Number 2 was Michael.
Guess what? Oh man.
And
Yeah.
yes, we got Michael Mania. Okay.
I think you know, it's kind of sticking around. You know, probably in the future it might go lower in the list, but I think we both agreed that one is up there. Again, like, I don't know, man. There are scenes where, again, I just thought that he was him, like he was, and it's just so, it was so convincing to me that Jafar played him so well. And his story too, just overall story, like the way they did it, like, and the choreography, like, same exact movements. If you don't like how he looks, he moved exactly like him, and probably even sounded like him too. There were some moments where it's like, holy shit, he's singing this, and maybe they're adding some vocals, you know, they're adding some how can you say, additives, you know, of his vocals, but a lot of the songs, as Nelson said, and I agree as well, he sounds exactly the same. He literally sounds like his uncle, man. And I don't know, the actors that played his family, the writing as well, their emotion was superb. And that's why I'm ranking it so high within a list, because again, it is recent. However, it's just a good biopic. I feel like, you know, they could have done it a little earlier, you know, throughout the years. But yeah, I mean, finally we got a Michael Jackson biopic that's actually like good and kind of does him justice. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. He's just a good person.
For me, the only reason why I have it ranked so far up, aside from being a Michael Jackson fan, it's literally because the choreography, the fact that Jafar really does sound very similar to Michael when he sings, not when he talks to Michael, because he wasn't using Michael's authentic voice. Michael's authentic voice was deeper. But in terms of singing, in terms of choreography, in terms of costume design, because they really used Michael Jackson's actual pieces of clothing in this film, in which basically felt like the spirit of Michael Jackson was genuinely coming back to life. Because of all those factors, that Michael the movie is, for Shady Mob Podcast as a whole, the second highest or second best musical biopic that's been ever produced. And that's a fact. That's our thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Drop a comment if you agree or disagree. Let's go with Number 3, and this one is a movie that I actually recently watched. Ray. Ray, the biopic about Ray Charles starring Jamie Foxx, ladies and gentlemen. This movie as a whole I thought was a musical masterpiece of a film, okay? Like, it wasn't necessarily a musical, it was a movie about the life of Ray Charles, but the way that they told his story, being raised on a farm, basically seeing his brother fall into a tub, die in front of his eyes, not basically being able to react in time, going blind at a young age, basically his mother separating from him, how all that trauma ultimately led to him becoming a heroin addict as an adult. But still, even though he was a heroin addict, he was still creating fucking beautiful songs. Like, fuck, what was the one that we were just singing? Oh, yeah. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Won't you come back no more? And then the fact that like his music still inspires a lot of the modern songs that came out in like the early 2000s. Like Ray Charles was an artist that transcended time.
Like some sort of studio, like they literally, what was the budget? It was like 45 million.
Bro, for
And
45 million they made this film.
what was it? 40 million. 40 million they made yeah.
That's
And
insane.
yeah.
Honestly, for how much they spent to make this film and how good, in my honest opinion, it was, because Jamie Foxx does an incredible job portraying Ray Charles, a blind man, how he would seduce women, how he would do the whole little hand thing.
His mannerisms were amazing, and even the way he spoke, Jamie Foxx can sing as well, and he actually got the approval by Ray Charles himself, who was like, this guy got it, man. He's good, and it's like, oh shit, like
And no, the fact that, so I was about to say, Ray Charles was alive when the film was being produced and filmed.
Mhm.
He died before the film actually came out, I believe. But he
That's
had a very heavy influence on the way the film was produced and the film was made, which I always think is a very important thing when it comes to shooting a biopic, because you want to be as accurate as possible when retelling these stories, correct?
correct.
That's why for me and for us here at Shady Mob Podcast, Ray Charles is our number 3rd best musical biopic. Now, number 4 is a movie that we both watched, I think, when it first came out in 2022. It's about the late, great king, Elvis Presley, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
This
man.
right here.
Austin Butler, I think he did an amazing job portraying Elvis, King of Rock himself. There's the way he just spoke and sang, even the way he moved, danced on screen. It's just he came alive, and there's so many scenes in this movie in Elvis where it's just like that's him again. Like he just looks so similar, and he acted and danced, and like the way he even moved as well, and like I don't know. You just look at it. You look at the comparisons, and even at the end, when he's singing one of his last songs, right? The last time we see Elvis live, like singing, they just transition into like live footage from Austin Butler, and it's just I'm getting goosebumps right now. I'm just like, oh my God, because again, you learn about his story, how he wanted to do a world tour, but his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, did not let him go because he just wanted the money, right? He did not want to let him go do a world tour because he had a deal to only have him in Vegas. And that was just so sad because he was just locked away and he couldn't spread his song. He couldn't spread his music, and also troubles with his family, and drug abuse. And I mean, they didn't really show much of the drug abuse, but he was always on drugs. He was always on something. And towards the end, it's just sad because took the king away, man. I mean, I don't know. He definitely had a lot more years in him, but the saddest part was just him not leaving the U.S. He definitely had a lot of potential, a lot of fans out there. And even though it was early on, when he came into success in the 50s and early 60s, I mean, a lot of people loved him outside the U.S. And that's why I don't know. I advocated to put it at number 4, because again, the story, writing, Tom Hanks is really good. Austin Butler was amazing. Olivia
Tom
Newton.
No, like honestly, in my opinion, for the reason why I agree with you, this was like our 4th best biopic as a whole. The story was told very straightforward, in my honest opinion. Austin Butler did an amazing job singing the parts that he sang. He did a very incredible job doing the movements of Elvis. Obviously, Austin Butler's a very handsome man. Honestly, he's probably better looking than the real life Elvis Presley. But the way that he was able to bring the character or bring back the king of rock and roll to life, when he did what was it? My favorite scene was when he did the comeback, the TV special with the comeback. Life could go on in the mountain.
That was after it was some sort of like political thing happened, and like the country was like low, and they were gonna do like a holiday special. Oh man,
bro, that was my favorite scene in that.
It gives me
entire
goosebumps.
film.
It gives me goosebumps right now, and he's just like this, and it's
Bro, like I'm telling you, like that film was. Also, it's a Tom Hanks film. Come on now, Tom Hanks only works in beautiful classes of like masterpieces. Okay, and the film did not disappoint. One of my favorite songs, and I don't know if they had it in the film, was "Devil in Disguise." You look like an angel. That's all. I
don't think so. They skipped a lot of like his Hawaiian stuff. They didn't really do like he was big in Hawaii, and he had
Hawaii.
I've been to his mansion on Kauai, and
Oh, okay.
Man, I don't know. It's just yeah, they skipped a lot of. Again, that's the thing with all these movies, that they can only fit so much. But they didn't do that. And what's it called? Yeah, I mean, overall good movie though.
But Elvis was a great film. And then last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna be doing a film that Alex and I both really enjoyed. We're both actually fans of this band. Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody, starring, or more or less portraying, it was more or less like the story of Freddie Mercury than the story of Queen, even though like that we did kind of get like all of 4 members kind of be talked about. Am I wrong?
Yeah. So with Bohemian Rhapsody, it's on the list because I'm a huge fan, and I just love how they portrayed Freddie Mercury and Brian May. What's the guy's name? Roger Taylor and John Deacon, I believe was the other guy's name.
Yep. Deacon.
Yeah, and they're just great chemistry. You see them starting off just regular guys in a small band, and they just find their sound. And Freddie Mercury, man, he just the synth rock and opera rock that they gave off was just insane. I really enjoyed this movie. The fact that they touched on his relationships with his female relationships, and then also his gay relationships, because he was gay. He did come out, and that was a big thing back in the 80s and 90s that happened. And yeah, I mean, and there was a couple times where like they definitely fictionalized a lot of a lot of the drama that was happening, where they came back right with that one tour in England, and that with that one concert, that was probably the biggest concert ever in the world, that was watched. And yeah,
South
and
Africa.
they also touched on that too. They also touched on his disease, on his AIDS, and
Well,
it was pretty.
So the movie does twist a few of the actual facts. Queen was performing a couple years before Live Aid. They had gotten back together after Freddie went and tried to do his solo thing, which they properly portrayed. That was not successful because Freddie Mercury was not Michael Jackson. They offered him Michael Jackson money, but the thing about Freddie Mercury was the thing that made Queen so great was that they were the ones writing the songs as a team together. It wasn't just Freddie's music that he was singing. He was singing Brian's, he was singing Deacon's, he was singing Rogers. He was singing all of their songs, bringing it to life through his voice. That's what the success of Queen was, which I thought this movie did a very beautiful job portraying. Also, it shows you how Freddie spiraled into what ultimately led him to basically getting, or actually, you don't know how he got contracted it, but obviously, probably unprotected.
I'm sure in the 80s it was a thing, sex, but yeah, it did show his decline, and a lot of these movies as well. I'm sure, and like even for Michael, it'll show his decline, I guess, with like legal troubles. But it's just sad. All these, except for Selena and maybe Ray.
Was tragic.
I would say Ray had the most, like, the longest lived. He was longest lived out of all these guys. And
I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad that for the Elvis movie they didn't end with him dying on the toilet. It ended when he got on the fucking plane. Thank God.
Yeah.
That would have been. Oh God. Oh Jesus.
That would not be good.
No. And then I love how Bohemian Rhapsody, and yes, we're going into spoilers. I love how Bohemian Rhapsody ended after the Live Aid concert. I loved how at the end they had, what was it, Brian and Roger at the top, fucking looking down on them performing for Live Aid. I love how in Michael, the ending is kind of skewed. Because he definitely does announce at the Dodger Stadium that he's going to be leaving the Jackson, and that's the last time they're going to be performing. But he doesn't run off the stage like he did dramatically and run into the back and talk to his dad like that. Obviously, there was conversations that were had, but like it was there was a celebration on stage where like the entire family came out to celebrate together for their last concert. Ray was also another good film. I forget how Ray ended, but it was. I literally just watched it. I forget how it ended. I need to rewatch it. And then Selena obviously ends with her dying at the end because of Yolanda. So, yeah, guys. With that being said, this is actually the end of the episode because we are running late. However, we do want to give a couple of honorable mentions out there.
Honorable mention. Straight Outta Compton. That is probably one of my favorite. It was actually on my original list for being number one, but Nelson and I talked about it, and I don't think it's fair to add it because it's a group. It's a group, and it was told in the eyes of DJ Yella, MC Ren, Dr. Dre, and Ice Cube, and a lot of it was focused around Eazy-E. And he just wasn't. He's not around. He's not around to tell his side of the story. So a lot of it, might have been skewed and deliberately told in a way where it doesn't hurt his image. And yeah, I mean, overall, it was a great story to see them kind of rise up and everything. But it was mainly Dre and Ice Cube focused. I remember back in the day when it was released, MC Ren had issues because he was also a big part of it, but wasn't really given the chance to have his story told. So there's also that too. So it's very conflicting on what you can say like, oh, what happened versus this, how they were, what happened here, happened there. The story was great, but as a biopic, it's more. I would say it does lean more on the fictionalized side, but who's to say like it's all hearsay. Oh, that happened, that didn't happen, that didn't happen, that happened. So, but overall, great movie. Ice Cube's son, fantastic, great acting. Soundtrack, I mean, it was tense, it was gritty, it was like gangster rap, but honorable mention.
Another one for me would probably be The Dirt. Honestly, the reason why
Motley Crue,
the Motley Crue biopic, the only reason why is because Nikki Sixx, Tommy Lee, Vince, and Mars, all of them are still alive, and they produced the film. They basically retold all of their stories and like accurately, and it's kind of like the downside to the Crew was that like you couldn't really like they it showed you briefly like what the timeline was, but you really didn't see like what the actual like course of events were. So it was it felt all jumbled up, but realistically, because all of the guys, like the 4 original members were alive and really produced like the movie and everything, one of the best biopics out there. It's really cool. It's really fun, and they overcome all the drugs, okay? They overcome all the drugs for a great time. So honorable mention to The Crew. Honorable mention to La Bamba, the Richie Valens story, okay? This man wrote Donna. He basically... La Bamba was a song that was made many years ago, before even Richie Valens sang it, but he made La Bamba his own, okay? And then Selena, which is ironic, made La Bamba her own. So La Bamba sang by legendary artists, and a lot of them have been able to make it their own type of like sounding song, which is incredible. So shout out to La Bamba. Shout out to The Dirt and Straight Outta Compton. If we're missing any biopics, ladies and gentlemen, we apologize. It's late. Alex is up there at 3 a.m. It's 12 a.m. my time. I'm still going to go and cook for my family right now. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching this latest episode of the Shady Mob Podcast with your 2 favorite Pod Mob stars, Alex the Man Angela. Oh, he's over here. And King N.P.V, you know that's me, baby. We love y'alls. We appreciate y'alls for being here. Always remember, desire is power. If you desire to be great, you have the power to be great. Alex, what am I forgetting?
Guys, check out our merch on our fucking website. Check it out. Look at that. Look at what we're wearing. Isn't that comfy? Isn't that comfy, Nelson, what you're wearing right there? Look at that. Looking cool, comfy, and cute.
Oh, stop it. Also, guys, go check out Port City Uncensored, Thursdays at 8. Soniq Wavez, Saturdays, any time between like 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. Pacific, which is like 7 p.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern.
There you go.
Or 12 a.m.
Go
Eastern.
check out, just Port City, our channel, Shady Mob Productions, A&A Radio, and from then Max as well. I think we're still featuring him. Guys.
TV exclusively on Twitch for all you gamers out there. And then, don't forget to check out Edwin from the End Zone. Hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. See you soon and see you next time, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great one.
Bye, guys.
You're watching the Shady Mob Podcast with your 2 favorite Pod Mob stars.
All right, guys, please click on the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Microphone check. Shady Mob in the zone, King N.P.V. Alex sitting on the throne, dropping gems on the mic. Entertainment dissected, movies, TV, culture, fully connected. From the silver screen to the block, we decode the plots. Every twist, every turn, we connect the dots. Pot airs with the bounce, flow rugged and raw. Tune in, turn it up, let the knowledge withdraw. Shady Mob, yo, we got the juice, breaking it down. Truth spilling out the booth. From the big screen flicks to the sitcom roots. Shady Mob Podcast, we the illest recruits. Popcorn kernels popping, Hollywood exposed. From the indie hits to the $1 billion shows. Angela with the deep cuts, King bring the vibe. We dissect the script, watch the secrets collide. Flick sharper than the blade, TV sharper than the wit. Spin the reel, press play. We never quit, Shady Mob in your ear. We keep the pace from the shadows. We rise, entertainment we embrace. Shady Mob, yo, we got the juice. Breaking it down, truth spilling out the booth. From From the big screen flicks to the sitcom